Welcome back to my channel. Today's video we have a brand new pick a card reading, and this one is all about who your soulmate is plus how you are going to meet them. So if you felt drawn to this video because you're curious about who your soulmate is, you're curious about their personality, what they're like, what your relationship will be like, plus maybe you're curious like, how am I actually meant to meet my soulmate? What's in the energy? What's in the cards? What's in all of that? That is today's video. We are going to be connecting to spirit to bring you answers that are meant for your highest good. And then, of course, if you're new to these videos, the way that this works is I have 4 different groups in front of me, and you're going to use your intuition to choose one of these 4 different groups. Occasionally, your intuition might call you towards multiple groups, and that's okay. That just means that there's multiple messages for you in today's video. So you'd go ahead and tune into all the ones that you are drawn to, but most of the time your intuition is going to call you to one amongst the rest. The way that your intuition works, which my love, everyone on this planet has intuition. It is your 6th sense, and it's your ability to tap into and read energy. There's different energies and different themes within each of these groups, and your intuition's gonna know which one resonates with you. That's why you're gonna feel drawn or even magnetized or unexplainably called towards a particular group, and that's because your intuition is speaking to you. So there might be one that just stands out amongst the rest, either visually or it's just like some sort of interesting, palpable feeling. But most of the time, your intuition speaks to you as a subtle inner knowing. It doesn't speak to you in the sense of like, oh, this is the prettiest pile or something like this. It's like this subtle inner knowing, like, ooh, I'm just drawn to that particular one, right? So you go ahead and tune into that pile with the timestamps down below. If visually looking at the groups is not really gauging your intuition for you, another method that you can use is you can use your hand and just gently hold it over each of the groups. You can wait a few seconds just feeling the energy that you feel, and maybe there's going to be one of them that again just stands out amongst the rest or gives you a different sensation, and that, my love, is your intuition. So you'd go ahead and tune into that particular group. So that's how this video works. I cannot wait to dive into it. For those of you who like to choose via the crystals and you like to see a close-up of the crystals, then we're going to dive into that as well. So over here on group number 1, we have this really beautiful copper sphere. So if you're drawn to the copper sphere or to group number 1, that's going to be your pile. Group 2, we have this beautiful quartz geode. So if you're drawn to group 2 or the quartz geode, that's going to be your pile. Then group number 3, we have this green fluorite cube. So if you're drawn to group 3 or the green fluorite, that's going to be your pile. Group number 4, we have this beautiful black tourmaline crystal. So if you're drawn to this one, then that is going to be your pile. So my loves, those are the different group options for today's video. You can pause the video to take all the time in the world that you need. And without further ado, I'll see you in your reading. Let's go ahead and dive right in. All right, my group number 1s, if you chose this pile, this is going to be your reading. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. All right, my loves, we're going to begin here with your Astro Dice just to get some overall information to start us off about your soulmate. So we have Jupiter in Scorpio in the 9th house. Ooh, your person, your soulmate is somebody who likes philosophy and they really like learning. They're probably highly educated, or if they haven't gotten a degree in anything and they're not like, you know, have a master's or a PhD or something like this, they're at least somebody who reads a lot, they research a lot, they are somebody who knows a lot about pretty much everything. Like your type of person, you could bring up almost any topic and this person will know something about it or have some sort of opinion, or, you know, not an opinion in a bad way, because I feel like this person's also really open to conversation and talking about things and developing like a broader mindset. So this person's not like closed off by any means, but you know, they'll at least have wisdom about pretty much everything. And I do feel like they have a pretty high education, or again, at least self-study. Scorpio makes this person very deep. They're deep emotionally, but they're also deep intellectually, mentally, spiritually. I do feel like this person has a spiritual side, especially with Scorpio being in the 9th house. They either have a very strong religion, or at the very least, if it's not like a strong religion, they're very spiritual. There's something about them where they have a higher faith in something that's bigger than them, right? So That's coming through really strong. Jupiter makes this person very adventurous, spontaneous, fun. They like to travel, but at the same time, you know, this is an interesting juxtaposition. This person's a bit of a homebody because of the Scorpio energy. They definitely love their alone time. I feel like this person recharges when they're alone. They're probably an introvert, but at the same time, they're adventurous and outgoing, and they love to travel. So they have that interesting mix where this person, again, is expansive, very expansive and outgoing and adventurous, and they also do love to be spontaneous with this Jupiter 9th house energy, but at the same time, they're a little bit more introverted. So you're not going to find them in a huge crowd unless it's something that they're super passionate about. Then, of course, they're probably going to be, biting their thumb and being like, okay, let's go into this big crowd. But, you know, this person has a very fun, interesting mix. I feel like this person dreams big as well. They're not like a small thinker. When we have Jupiter in the 9th house, this person likes to dream big. So they probably have big goals when it comes to future plans. They probably think outside of the box and outside of the norm. So they're not like your cookie cutter average person where they just want to live right where they've grown up type of thing. This person is a world traveler. In fact, I do feel like this person's going to move around a lot. They might be born in another country and then have moved to another country, or they're at least very well traveled if they haven't moved around a lot. And then on top of that, again, they're a very big dreamer. So when it comes to lifelong goals, this is the type of person who wants to do things not in the orthodox sense. So they're not going to follow a traditional path. This is the type of person where it's like, oh, you want to homeschool our kids and like travel to different countries? Cool, let's do it. That's this type of person, okay? If you propose an idea like that, that wouldn't like scare them. They'd be like, okay. Like this person's really open to trying new things, okay? This person's very open to doing things in a different way. They're probably also going to be somebody who naturally proposes ideas like that and doing things that are very different and outside of the norm. I'm definitely getting a lot of Sagittarius energy from this person. Of course, they could also have some Scorpio energy with this Scorpio stuff going on. But Jupiter is very connected to, for one, Sagittarius, but it does also have connections to Pisces. So I'm getting like Piscean, Sagittarius, or Scorpio energy as a dominant energy. So you're probably going to notice that within their sun, moon, or rising is that there's like some Sagittarius or some Scorpio or some Pisces. And perhaps those are just dominant signs in their chart in some way, which develops their personality a lot. But let's go ahead and see what else we get about your soulmate and also how you're going to meet them. So anytime that this happens, my love, anytime that the cards like fly out and then it moves the astro dice, I always take it as a sign. The fact that we have the sun coming out as well. Immediately I get this feeling that this person really likes hot, summery weather, and they probably like to travel to warm locations. That's one thing about them, but they're also very bright and optimistic. This person, they get deep. They have this scorpionic energy where they can get deep. They can feel things so deeply. But no matter this person's past, even if they've gone through really deep things before, they're optimistic. They're happy. This person's a happy, positive, outgoing type of person. Okay? They're going to help you see the bright side of things, even when you have a hard time seeing the bright side. This person also, when they're going through a tough time, they're really good at finding their own light and finding their own bright side. This person has a very strong light to shine, by the way. They have big dreams, and the sun is interesting. One thing I'm going to say about this person, Spirit is saying that this is relevant for about almost 40 to 50% of you, okay? Your soulmate may have a career that puts them in the spotlight a little bit, even though I'm getting this introverted energy. You know, sometimes even introverts are in the spotlight in some way, but your person might be in the spotlight in some way, shape, or form, or at least it's going to correlate to their career somehow. It could be like being outdoors or being in the center of attention in some way, okay? We also have 7 of Pentacles being reversed. One thing about them is they can get a little bit impatient sometimes. They want things to happen quickly. They get a little bit bored when it comes to routine and waiting around. This person gets a little bit antsy. So let's say that you end up like settling down somewhere for a really long period of time. This person's going to start getting really itchy to like move or to travel or to do something that's kind of different. That's kind of what makes them this unique person that really likes to, you know, do different things. Look at me just shuffling the cards terribly right now. But, you know, this person is definitely, they like to be on the move. And you know, that's very different for your average introvert. But this one, your person, they're this fun little juxtaposition where they're introverted but love to be on the move, doing things, exploring. Like your person is an explorer, an adventurer. Let's go ahead and see what else we get here. We also have the Six of Swords being reversed. This can allude to your person having some type of something from the past. Like either they've had a past very significant relationship that they're just getting out of when you meet them, or they might even be divorced. Or they may be in a transition period when you meet them. They may be just getting out of a hard time, because the Six of Swords, when it's reversed, it's kind of like there's a little bit of baggage that they're kind of still getting over. They're in the process of getting over it. So they could be in the midst of like a divorce when you meet them. And I'm not saying that that's going to be true for all of you, right? But it's something like this where they're either just getting out of a relationship and they're like, wait a second, I wasn't even looking for a relationship, but then they find you and they're like, okay, well, I guess that's it. And sometimes life just works out in those funny ways, right? So let's go ahead and see more about your person. This could also be a job change, by the way. It doesn't have to be divorce. This could also be they're in a transition of a job change where it's kind of a little bit like rocky and wavy when you first meet them. But they're sorting it out, and I feel like they're going to sort it out really fast because the swords are very fast moving. This isn't going to be something that takes a long time. Like 6 months max is kind of what Spirit is saying, that they're doing this transition period. It's like about 6 months where things are a little bit like, woo, in the beginning. But let's go ahead and see what else we get. I'm also feeling like with this card, your person, they're comfortable with turbulence. Not in the sense of like arguments or anything like that. I actually feel like this person's so intellectual and so wise that they're really good at communicating and really good at, you know, handling situations and solving it well. But what I'm getting here is, let's say that something wild happens, like you're on a road trip together and you get a flat tire when you're in the midst of nowhere. And, you know, some people would have like a total panic freak out. I actually feel like this person's kind of really, not that they like going through things like that, but they have a level head when they go through things like that. They are not necessarily used to it, but they're like, I don't know, they keep a level head through turbulence is what Spirit keeps saying with this card. Let's go ahead and see what else we get here. What else can we find out about your soulmate? And we're also going to do some cards to figure out how you're going to meet them. So let's see. Group ones, a little bit more about your soulmate. Group one. Woo! Look at those cards flying out. Okay, so we have the Three of Swords and the Star. Yeah, okay. They're probably just getting out of a relationship for some of you. Six of Swords reversed and the Three of Swords. Let me tell you something here. This can sometimes indicate that you have dated this person before and then are coming back together. Or at least you might know each other and one of you guys might be in a relationship, and then that relationship ends, and then you two come together and you're like, wait a second, we've always really liked each other. There's something going on where there's some sort of heartbreak that you are experiencing with this person, whether that be like them going through a breakup and you two meeting during that period, or you might have dated this person in your past and then go on your own separate spiritual growth journeys and then you come back together type of thing. After you two have like grown a lot and then you're ready for like a full-on relationship. That kind of stuff. Or again, this could be something that they're dealing with and you kind of like come through at that time and they're like, wait a second, I wasn't even looking for somebody type of thing. So the Star as well coming through is a sense of renewal. So that also ties in with kind of what we're talking about. And the Star is like this beacon of hope. It's like, oh, I wasn't even looking for this. I wasn't even expecting this to happen. But then all of a sudden, there's this rebirth. The star is about rebirths, and I'm seeing this beautiful rebirth where it's like, oh my gosh, and it's this sense of clarity that comes through of this like, oh, it was always meant to be you. It was always, like, it's like, how did I not see it before? And then also the star talks about divine timing. So there's divine timing involved here. So this could be somebody you've known before, or again, they're just getting out of a relationship when you meet them. But there's something divine about it. It was like, this was meant to happen at this time for this particular reason. There's a reason why it was delayed, or there's a reason why there had to be, you know, other relationships that came first. It's all going to make sense in the bigger picture at the end. So that's really coming through. Let's get some cards to kind of define how you are likely to meet this person. Let's see my group ones. How are you likely to meet your soulmate? Woo, look at that. Okay. 9 of Pentacles being reversed. This is usually an in-person type of thing when the Pentacles arrives. With all the swords that we had coming out, I was going to say online, but since we asked Spirit directly, we get the 9 of Pentacles being reversed over here. This is almost connected to independently somehow finding each other, because this card very much speaks about independence. It's like independently finding each other. When it's reversed too, there's a sense of like, I wasn't really looking for someone type of energy. This feeling like you're gonna cross paths with this person and get into a real relationship kind of when you least expect it, or perhaps when they least expect it. 9 of Pentacles is occasionally correlated with work or pleasures. It can be tied to both, because it can talk about working your way to success type of thing, but it can also talk about the enjoyment of the success that you've created. So kind of what I'm gathering from this in terms of meeting, I feel like it's either through a passionate work connection or through things that you enjoy doing. So this could be stuff that you enjoy doing, such as like I don't know, gardening, and you meet them at a garden center. This could be things such as painting, and then you meet them at like a painting event or something like this. It's something to deal with your passions, or if you're passionate about something that you also do for work, then it would be connected to that as well. There's some sort of crossing that happens in that area. But let's go ahead and see what else we get here for you, my group number ones. All about your soulmate and how you will meet them. So we also have Get Wild. This person really likes their freedom, and they really like to do things out of the ordinary. And we also have Revolutionary. This person comes up with their own ideas really, really well. They're also open to changing. Like this person, they change when they have new epiphanies. This person is not stuck in their ways. If you bring up a really good point to them and you're like, oh, you know, you're always like this, and, you know, you always do this, and this bothers me, blah, 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 whatever. They're actually very open to shifting and changing. I feel like this person's into self-development. They want to be the best version of themselves. Therefore, this person wants to change if it's in accordance to what they also want to. For example, like this person's very adventurous, and I don't think you're ever going to change the fact that they're very adventurous, for example. But let's say you're like, you know, you have a problem with their tidiness or something. This person's like, okay, you know what? Let me change. Let me step up. When it's corresponding to them being the best version of themselves, this person's very open to shifting and changing and creating revolutions and being the best version of themselves. This person really wants to create a really good life, and I feel like they're very conscious. They're very consciously aware of that. So let's go ahead and see what else we get here for you. Any last cards for my group ones, all about your soulmates and how you are meant to meet them. So we also have Archer. This is giving Sagittarius energy once again. We definitely have like a lot of Sagittarius vibes in this reading. And then we also have Sorceress with the web. Okay, this person's extremely creative. The web, this person can create things. So they might either be into art or making something with their hands or something that they're really good at creating. They have a unique hobby, interest, or career that has to deal with creating with their hands and creating something very physical that you can then see and be like, wow, look at you, look at how talented you are. So they're really, that's something very unique about them. Then as well, the Archer is giving that Sagittarius energy, but this person also, again, they have big goals, and you can trust in this person to actually, you know, set their sights on making it happen, on actually creating it. So when this person has their sights set on something, they will do whatever they can to make it happen. I feel like this person's a very high achiever. So that's what we have here, all about your soulmate, my beautiful group number ones. Thank you so much for joining me here for today's video. I'm sending you so much love, and until next time, bye. All right, my beautiful group number twos, if you chose this pile, this is going to be your reading all about your soulmate and how you're likely going to meet them. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. All right, my group twos, beginning with your Astro Dice here, let's go ahead and find out some stuff about your person. So we have the North Node in Virgo in the 6th house. So the North Node is all about purpose and destiny and trajectory and evolvement, like the soul's evolution. Virgo is about organization. It's also about healing, being of service to others, and putting in the work to do something great. You know, it's like they want to do their best. Virgo comes with the energy of, I want to do my best. If I'm going to do something, I want to do it great, right? So it can sometimes make somebody a little bit picky, but let me get into this a little bit deeper. The 6th house is someone who's into wellness, being of service. Ooh, this person, my group twos, your soulmate is somebody who wants to do their best. This type of person is going to set up like romantic things for you. This person's going to plan romantic things. Like this is the type of person that is going to have champagne and flowers waiting for you when you come home with a special little date night kind of situation. They want to see you happy. Virgo is kind of the energy of, I will go above and beyond to make things beautiful. This is the type of person that's going to surprise you with like a beautiful clean house, but then also like a bath running with like your favorite book there and like a cup of tea and stuff. That is this type of person. They think in those types of ways. The 6th house is very much about wellness and things like this. So another thing that I'm getting is your person is into fitness, into working out, and into being healthy. They're health conscious when it comes to their diet, when it comes to their exercise and their body, and they might also work in the medical field, especially since we have the 6th house and Virgo showing up together. This person, there's a high chance that they either work in medicine or they have a fascination with like health and wellness, and they're probably the type of person that's going to like read product labels and be like, ooh, this has like, you know, parabens and this type of thing and this and that. They're probably going to be aware of those types of things and be more conscious when it comes to overall wellness and health and all things like that. So that's a little bit about this person. The North Node is they want to be their best. They want to evolve. The North Node can also symbolize somebody who is very forward thinking. So they're not just going to jump into something like super fast without thinking about it. They're the type of person who thinks long term, and they think about, okay, where do I want to end up in life? And how can I align my circumstances so that I actually achieve said goal? They're long-term focused. I feel like this person's very committed when it comes to relationships, especially with this 6th house Virgo energy showing up. So they're not somebody who's just going to like date around type of thing. They're actually looking for their person, and I feel like when you meet them, they're already going to have that sense of maturity. Virgo, since it's connected to Mercury, can also indicate somebody who has worked a lot on their communication in order to become a good communicator. They're aware of how they communicate. So this person's not going to be somebody who says something mean just because they're heated. that's not this type of person at all. This is the type of person who's consciously aware of their words, and they're consciously aware of how their words can affect emotions and hurt somebody. Virgo is so aware of that because Virgos also have to do a lot of healing. So your person, they may have grown up in an environment that caused them to do a lot of healing, or they might have had past relationships that have caused them to learn a lot about communication and healing and the words that hurt people. And so this person is just very conscious of those types of things. When I'm looking at this as well, for some reason, I'm really feeling like children is coming up, and I don't even know where I'm quite getting that from. But for some reason, when I'm looking at this, it's giving me this essence of like thinking long-term and thinking about children. For some reason, that's coming through. So I feel like your person might communicate that up front, that they want kids, or they have strong opinions about kids, whether they want them or not type of thing. They're gonna have strong opinions about that already by the time that you meet them. For most of you, I'm feeling like they want kids, for most of you. There might be some of you where there's already a strong opinion of not wanting kids, but of course, if they're your soulmate, they're obviously going to be aligning to your values or they wouldn't be your soulmate. So they're obviously going to align to whatever your personal value is with that. We also, we have double fives. We have double fives in the reverse position. And in fact, both of these cards are better in the reverse position. Fives indicate somebody who has gone through a lot of shifts, has gone through a lot of changes. However, I feel like your person now really enjoys permanence because of what they've gone through. So the double fives when they're reversed, I feel like this is talking a lot about their past and giving you a little bit about how they've developed into who they are today. In their past, I feel like they've had to go through a lot of unexpected shifts or changes. This could be like unexpected moves or the loss of a parent or parents that are divorced type of thing, or, you know, something where there's been a lot of changes in their past. But now, because of that, they've actually developed into a person who wants stability and commitment, and they want like long-term stability. Because of this earth energy that we have coming through, your person is somebody who doesn't want to change things a lot. So when it comes to where you live, this person's kind of like, let's find where we want to be and let's set our roots there, right? This person's also very conscious when it comes to money and when it comes to saving. They might be somebody who is a little bit frugal, but there's reasons behind it. They have gone through financial hardship before to the point where they've learned the value of a dollar, but it may have put them into a little bit more of a frugal sense. However, they're very responsible with money, and I actually feel like they, I'm getting this sense like your person might have like a large savings, but to them it feels very small. But to other people it might be like whoa, that's like really comfortable, that's really amazing, look what you've created. To this person, though, that feels still small. And they're still like, no, I need, like, they're responsible and they think big picture. And again, they think long term. This person with the North Node energy, this person thinks very long term. So you might get that sense from them, especially with this Five of Pentacles being reversed, that they're no longer in financial hardship, but they kind of still worry about ending up there. So they take a lot of action to avoid it. And that's what leads them to being, you know, almost, I want to say, a little bit overly responsible with money, if that makes sense. They're not somebody who's going to be spending willy-nilly on things. They really are thoughtful with their purchases, and they're a practical person. So they're going to focus on purchasing practical things. They might, you know, I feel like they're into treating you, but they're also conscious about, you know, again, the amount of spending that happens. But I feel like that might be a positive thing. It might either balance you out in some way, or it might match your personality already, or you two, again, might balance each other out in some way. We also have Five of Swords being reversed. So they've experienced betrayal before, and this being in the reverse position, I feel like, again, this is talking about their past. They've been betrayed before, they've been cheated on, they've had harsh exchanges of words before. This has made them a much more conscious person when it comes to communication, when it comes to how you treat others, and they're much more upfront. So you might notice that this person is upfront with their communication in the sense that they're going to lay it out on the table, being like, okay, I'm looking for like something long-term. If you're not okay? We should go our separate ways type of thing. This person's going to communicate those types of things up front because of what they've experienced again in their past. Let's go ahead and see what else we get about your soulmate, and then we're also going to dive into a little bit about, ooh, we have the moon being reversed. So this person's very in touch with their emotions, and they will let you know what their emotions are. They, I feel like, enjoy, or not enjoy, they are the type of person who will likely process their emotions before opening up about their emotions. They kind of, they're the type of person who prefers processing. I keep wanting to say the word enjoy. They don't necessarily enjoy processing, but they prefer processing before opening up. The moon when it's reversed, so when it's upright, it's somebody who's emotional and intuitive, but it's a little bit more secretive of their emotions, a little bit more closed off. When it's reversed, it's a little bit more clarity. So they're deep, they're emotional, but they're actually going to let you know. However, when it's reversed, it's a little bit more logical. So when this person expresses their emotions to you, again, they prefer to process it first so that they don't come to you with an overbearing amount of emotions. They like to come to you to be able to tell you like, hey, I'm upset, this is why, blah, blah, blah. So they'll let you know their emotions without dumping their emotions on you, if that makes sense. So that's something that I'm feeling there. In terms of how you are going to meet this person, let's get a little bit of information on that. So we have 7 of Pentacles showing up reversed, and I actually feel like getting one more in terms of meeting. 7 of Pentacles reversed and 5 of Cups upright. So Pentacles and Cups. In terms of meeting, you might, this is kind of similar to the last group in the sense of when it comes to how you're going to meet this person. When the 5 of Cups is reversed, I feel like either of you are not, there could be one of you that's not necessarily looking for a relationship yet because you're still processing and healing emotions. This could be them or this could be you. It could also be both of you, but I'm getting the sense that it's more strongly related to just one of you that is not necessarily looking for somebody at the moment, but then all of a sudden you two meet and it's sort of like, okay. It might take a little bit for this relationship to develop because one of you might be like, you know what, no, I'm not looking for something right now. It's a slow develop. 7 of Pentacles also talks about a bit of a slow develop and needing a little bit of patience. In terms of meeting each other, I feel like getting some more cards actually. Let's go ahead and dive into this deck to get another meeting because it's mostly talking about events here is something that I'm feeling. Let's see. How are you going to meet this person? Group 2s. How are you going to meet? Okay, full moon in Capricorn and Taurus. Double earth energy. This is an in-person meeting. Somehow you're going to meet in person. Capricorn and Taurus. Both of these deal with real world situations. So this could be something like school or work, because both of these deal with kind of more of that earthy energy, which is very correlated to anything material. So school, work. This could be through friends, but I'm not seeing a lot of people on these cards. So I'm kind of getting more of a school or work type of situation that would bring you two together. This could also be things like at the gym or at a coffee shop or something that's physical. This is a physical energy that I'm getting here. The fact that money is showing up really dominantly in the Taurus card, it's somewhere where I feel like you're spending money. So for some of you, again, this could be like spending money for a class or, you know, at the gym or at an event type of thing. Taurus can kind of deal with spending money. Capricorn can deal with traditions or things that have strong foundations or things that you're climbing towards and striving towards, which could, again, be a little bit about career. So Spirit's actually not being super duper clear on how you're going to meet, but I feel like Spirit is coming through with a lot of pentacle earth energy. So your soulmate is likely going to be an earth sign, which would be Taurus, Capricorn, or Virgo, or they're going to have strong earth placements like that in their chart. But there's something physical here that you're going to meet in a more physical manner. So that is what we got right there. Let's go ahead and dive into any last cards that want to come through for information about your soulmate and how you are meant to meet them. We have versatility. I feel like one of you is going to have to be versatile in the relationship, or maybe both of you are going to have to compromise in like certain ways. And we also have the outlaw. So the outlaw can be when we're not looking for a relationship and we're kind of just like, you know, I'm not looking for anything, and we kind of are a little bit dismissive at first. Versatility can talk about needing to be a little bit versatile in order to come together, but both of you are going to be obviously willing to do it, but it just might take a little bit of time in the beginning because maybe there's other factors that are still sort of healing or closing out or finishing up in order for you two to be together. But that is what we got here, my love. All about your soulmate and how you are meant to meet them. Thank you so much for joining me here for today's video. I'm sending you all so much love. And until next time, bye. All right, my beautiful group threes, this is going to be your reading all about your soulmate and how you're meant to meet them. So let's go ahead and dive into it. All right, my group threes, let's find out all about your soulmate and how you are meant to meet them. So we have the North Node in Pisces in the 3rd house. Interesting that we have North Node coming up again. I think the last group just had North Node. But anyway, the North Node deals with long-term vision. It deals with your destiny, evolvement, who you're meant to become. So I feel like your person is somebody who is ever evolving. They are ready to evolve with you. They might be ready to even make big moves in order to be with you, or there could be just like this large destiny at play to help you two come together, you know, when you two are meant to. There's kind of like divine timing involved. In fact, I'm actually, you know, it's interesting. The North Node came up for the last group, but for you, my group threes, I'm getting completely different insight with the North Node this time. Like Spirit's kind of coming through with a little bit of a different sort of messaging here. We have the 3rd house coming through and also Pisces. The 3rd house makes me feel like your person is quite social. And I'm actually getting a little bit of information about how you're going to meet this person already. And it's most likely through a social interaction. We're going to get a little bit more information on that in a little bit, but a couple different options that I'm going to give you right now, which we're going to kind of clarify as we go on. But this could be through friends, or this could even be online, because the 3rd house is connected to networking, which can also be connected to kind of like online type of things, but it can also be connected to, again, friendships, of course, and meeting somebody through friends and through communication and things like that. But communication is a strong thing here. Could, again, be social media or, you know, through friends and things like that, through mutual kind of connections. The 3rd house, this person's, they like to talk, they are intellectual, they're a little bit more extroverted, I'm feeling like. They like to have fun, although Pisces kind of makes them a little bit of a mix. Interesting. They could be a little bit of a mix between an extrovert and a little bit of an introvert. Pisces kind of, with this 3rd house energy, can make this person go in a little bit of both directions, making them more of an ambivert, I would say. So they like a mix between going out and having fun, being social, being around friends. Like this person loves their friendships, but at the same time, they also do love their recharge time, their alone time, where they kind of get to be a little bit more of a homebody and step into creativity. Pisces with the 3rd house is somebody who is quite creative. They like to be creative either with, you know, plans that they make, or they like to be creative in the sense of having a creative hobby or outlet that they like to express themselves with. Their job, I feel like, would include communicating to other people, talking, expressing, thinking in deep ways, being creative. This person could be somebody who works either with like marketing, customer service, events, or event planning. The third house can deal with all types of things like that, but it can also be something a little bit more creative as well with Pisces energy showing up here. So let's go ahead and shuffle these cards to get a little bit more about your person. I'm getting a sense that they likely already have a pet. Pisces with the third house energy is giving me pet energy, like they either have a cat or a dog or something like this, or maybe that's going to be something that both of you, you know, focus on right when you meet each other. We also have Knight of Pentacles, Five of Swords being reversed, and Seven of Wands being reversed. So Knight of Pentacles makes this person very committed, especially when it comes to relationships. They are long-term focused when it comes to relationships. They're ready to give their all to somebody that they meet. I also feel like when they meet you, they're going to have a very strong long-term sense when they meet you. You're going to have conversations about like your vision for your future type of thing, because that's something that's really important to them. This person's not just going to settle down with, you know, anybody, nor are they going to settle down with somebody who doesn't share their long-term vision, or at least can create a beautiful long-term vision together. So this person's very, you know, focused on that. I also feel like they are in the midst of pursuing a larger career when you meet them. The Knight of Pentacles, he's like partway through, but he's not quite all the way there. So when you meet this person, they're either still in school for their dream career, or they are kind of just beginning it, but have a wider, broader vision that they still desire to achieve. And they are dedicated to achieving that. Also with them, this could also be touching on being a business owner for some of you. They could be a business owner or starting their own business type of thing. Five of Swords being reversed, they've experienced backstabbing in the past. They've experienced being cheated on in the past. And because of that, they're much more aware now. So when this card is in the reverse position, they are healing from something that they've experienced in their past. They've experienced betrayal before. They've experienced like being cheated on or being hurt, or, you know, events that they either regret even. And the Knight of Pentacles shows that this person has the awareness that they have changed and they have evolved and they have learned from their past to now be somebody who's very aware of communication, very aware of creating peace and harmony, and not doing something that they're going to regret later on, not saying words that they're going to regret, not, you know, acting in ways that they're going to regret. This person's very conscious. They're kind of here to, you know, work through problems, but also not initiate problems to begin with. This person, I feel like, really has that awareness with this Knight of Pentacles energy. Seven of Wands being reversed. This person, I feel like at times has been competitive. At times they've had to defend themselves a lot. But with the Seven of Wands being reversed, they're kind of over defending themselves and overly having to prove themselves. Like, I feel like this person's become so much more relaxed in terms of, you know, not caring so much what other people think anymore. But I feel like this person has gone through a time in their past where they used to really care what people thought. But I feel like they're really healing from that and kind of like letting that go, whilst also being open to, you know, hearing others out and things like this. But the Knight of Pentacles is somebody who's not easily changed. Their trajectory and their mindset and their desires and things like this, they're not easily changed. This person's here, like once they have their eyes set on something, once they know what they want, it's kind of hard to shift them. This person's quite committed in that sense, which makes them very reliable. But at the same time, can make things a little bit more inflexible when it comes to changing. But I feel like, you know, since you two are meant to be soulmates, you two are going to align in a lot of ways, which makes this future vision a lot easier. And it's something that kind of just molds together really, really well. So let's go ahead and shuffle some more cards and get a little bit more about how you two are likely going to meet each other. Let's get some information on the meeting. Ooh, we have Four of Wands showing up. That card talks about foundation. Can also talk about structures. So this could be like at an event per se. This could literally be like at a wedding, for example. The Four of Wands could be like at a wedding, at a graduation, at a celebration. It could also talk about school and being at a structure of some kind. Let's go ahead and see what else we get here. So I do feel like this is a little bit more of an in-person vibe is what I'm getting here. And I know a lot of people meet online these days, and these are general readings, so it can kind of shift based on the dominant energy of, you know, who is watching this type of thing. For some of you, I'm getting a little bit of an online vibe with the third house coming up. So if any of you really feel called to do online dating or things like that, or to reach out to somebody that you know on social media that you are, you know, whatever, like that could be a total possibility with the third house and Pisces energy showing up. However, with the Four of Wands showing up here and the third house, which can talk about events, this could also be like meeting, again, like I said, at a wedding or a graduation or some other significant sort of like celebration, like a friend's birthday or something like that. And all of a sudden you meet somebody who you're like, ooh, who are you? type of thing. Ace of Cups, when it talks about meeting, can almost allude to like not fully meeting on a first meeting. And what I mean by that, hear me out here for a little bit. Let's say that you meet somebody at a wedding or like ran into them and like exchanged a couple words, but like nothing really like took off in that moment. That's sort of what Ace of Cups being reversed talks about. It's like nothing really took off, but then, you know, maybe there's another friend get together and then you run into them again. You're like, okay, maybe we talk a little bit more. Maybe all of a sudden, a couple months later, one of us follows each other on social media and then we start talking that way. And that could also be why we have this third house Pisces energy showing up, but also a little bit of this in-person energy. It's almost like, you know, maybe there's a little bit of in-person interaction and a little bit of online interaction before things actually take off. So that's something that's kind of coming through there. But let's go ahead and dive into some more cards here, all about your soulmate. My group threes, we have love showing up. And we also have speak truth showing up. One thing about this person too is they're very honest. They're also somebody who speaks from the heart. Like they're compassionately honest. You can rely on them to tell the truth because they've also learned that lies, like the Five of Swords when it's reversed is somebody who has learned that lies do not get you anywhere. And in fact, they often inflict more pain than solve anything, right? This person has learned that to their core, okay? So this person's quite honest. And they also pair it with compassion because they're aware of emotions. We also have reflect showing up. So this person's deep in terms of like self-reflection. You know, if you come to them with a problem and things like that, they actually will do quite a bit of self-reflection to see, okay, like where did I go wrong here? Ancestors, there could be something significant about their family or their heritage. Either you two are going to have like a similar culture or heritage. I actually definitely feel like that from the Ancestors card. I feel like you're going to have a similar heritage or similar culture at the very least, similar religion, similar kind of connection in that sense. Ancestors also, I feel like your family is going to really like this person. They're going to fit into your family really well. I'm seeing like long-term roots being created with this person. I'm almost getting this sense, for some reason Spirit's showing this, it's almost like they fit into your family so well that they might even have a relationship with your family that's just as significant as your relationship with your family. You know when somebody just fits like just like a cookie cutter piece, and then all of a sudden, let's say that your boyfriend and your dad hit it off, and then all of a sudden they're out hanging together more often than you even see your own dad, and then you're like, wait, what? Like that's kind of the vibe I'm getting with this person. They're going to really get along with your family in that sense. And then reflect as well. I feel like you two are going to be a beautiful reflection of each other in the sense that bouncing ideas off of each other is so easy and feels so natural and gives you both deeper clarity because it's almost like they have your same mind, but they're almost just like another half of you, which allows you to expand your mind and expand your ideas and all of that. So if you ever come to them with a problem, I feel like they're going to be able to understand you emotionally and reflect back to you and kind of like be a really good support system in that sense. And also with Reflect, I feel like you two are going to get comments on your appearances of people saying like, you two look like soulmates. I feel like you're going to get that comment. So that is what we have here, my beautiful group number 3s. Thank you so much for joining me here for today's video. I'm sending you all so much love. And until next time, bye. All right, my beautiful group number 4s, if you chose this pile, this is going to be your reading. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. All right, so beginning here with your Astrodice, let's see what we have about your person. So we have Mars in Libra in the first house. Your soulmate. Mars is somebody who takes a lot of action. They are somebody who has a masculine energy to them. So whether they're a male or female, obviously, doesn't matter because these are general readings, but everyone has like masculine energy and feminine energy, and all of us have different balances of it, right? Masculine energy is somebody who takes a lot of forward action. They're action oriented. They're here to get stuff done. They probably have a very built physique, or they're very like toned, and you can kind of like see, you know, their muscles and things like this. And they're probably very active as well. So your soulmate is somebody who, when they have their eyes set on something, they will stop at nothing to conquer it, to achieve it. Mars is the breaker of obstacles. So if any obstacles stand in the way, this is the type of person who is going to be like, you know what? There's no challenge big enough. There's no challenge too big. Let me find ways to break through it. Let me figure out ways to overcome this challenge, right? So they have a very masculine sense to them in terms of that. I'm also feeling like your person with this first house energy, their self-image, this is somebody who stands out when they walk into a room. They really stand out. I feel like when you see this person for the first time, it's kind of just like whoa. It's like your attention kind of draws to them. And I also feel like your person, I love my group 4s. I'm getting goosebumps right now. Whenever goosebumps come through, it always means truth from spirit. Your person is a very sought after person. Their personality is also something that really draws people in, because this Libra energy, I feel like, is talking about their inner personality. And their personality is fun. There's like a fun banter that this person has. You're gonna laugh a lot with your person. They are masculine, they are strong, they are determined, they're here to overcome things. They have a great body is something that I'm feeling like. And on top of that, they have a really funny, good personality. Libra is somebody who has a personality that's very balanced, and so they're also going to be very interested in you and hearing about what you have to say. Like if this person is interested in somebody, oh my gosh, you're gonna know. This person has a very palpable energy. They're not somebody who you have to guess their feelings, because they're not like introverted in the sense of like being mysterious and private. This person kind of comes across very strongly, actually. So like if this person starts talking to you, you kind of know immediately like, oh, this person has interest in me. It's like kind of written all over them. Their emotions get written all over them, because there's somebody who is very strong in terms of expression, in terms of action, in terms of their energy. They have a very powerful energy behind them. And so again, it's just very palpable. You know when you can just tell somebody's interested in you because they kind of come across really strong, or just their demeanor and their actions, you can just palpably read it? That's this person. You're always gonna know what type of mood they're in, because it's just a palpable energy. They're never gonna be mysterious with you. They're gonna be very upfront. If they have something that they're annoyed by or something that they wanna bring up to you, you're gonna find out quite soon, quite right away. The Libra energy really helps balance out the Mars energy that we have, because Mars can often be very like intense, but Libra balances it. So this person, while they have this very strong, powerful energy about them, the Libra energy makes them funny, easygoing. It balances out that fire with a little bit of like more intuition and more intellect and more awareness. The first house, I'm also getting that your soulmate is somebody who's only really had to focus on themselves through their lives so far, but the Libra energy, they're very much looking for their other half. They're looking for somebody who's also whole and complete on their own. They're looking for somebody who also loves themselves. Because I feel like your person has gotten to a point of loving themselves. They've made themselves into somebody that they're really inspired by, somebody that they've aspired to be. They've taken a lot of action to become that. Therefore, they're also looking for their other half who's also, accomplished a lot and become their most inspiring kind of self, right? I feel like your person, when they desire something, again, they will stop at nothing to achieve it. If they're like, you know what, I want to achieve this in my career, okay, they're going to take a lot of action to do it. If they want to achieve a certain health goal, okay, they're probably going to take a lot of action and achieve it. And they're looking for somebody who's similar in the sense that, you aren't relying on somebody to do things for you. They're looking for somebody who has that independence. Your person is very independent, is something that I'm getting here. Very, very, very independent. But let's go ahead and see what else we get before I chatter on way too long about these astro dice. Let's see what else we can get for your person. So we also have the Four of Wands. They're definitely looking for commitment. They're looking for something that's long-term and a long-term vision. We also have the Five of Cups coming out. So this is actually a common cup or a common card showing up in this video. And the reason being is I feel like everyone has a past, right? Everyone has had times that they've been hurt. The Five of Cups up right here, this person has experienced loss and they're a little bit afraid of experiencing it again. And it has made them seek something more long-term. Something that I'm kind of feeling about your person is that perhaps in their younger, earlier years, they may not have taken relationships that seriously. But as they've gotten older and experienced the depth of emotion, by the time you meet them, they are going to understand that depth of emotion and want something a lot more permanent. What is this? Nine of Cups? Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups being reversed. Yes, they're going to also know what they want by the time that you meet them. Something I feel about this person is that they may not have been that much of a committed person, again, when they were younger. But because of that, they've grown to learn what they actually want. Now, when you meet them, they're going to know what they want and they're going to be ready for something long-term. But you might hear from their friends like, oh my gosh, we thought that this person would never settle down. This person's always been, very much ambitious and outgoing and all these things. But by the time you meet them, it's like they're ready for something serious. They're ready for something long-term. And that's what I really get from this Four of Wands energy. They're ready to lay down the foundation to make a beautiful life and make something that's long-term and lasting. So let's go ahead and see what else we get about your soulmate, my group fours. Let's see, we also have Queen of Wands. So these cards, by the way, are about to tell you how you're going to meet this person. I should have clarified. These cards are about how you are going to meet your person. Queen of Wands being reversed is usually an indication of social events. And we also have Three of Pentacles showing up. So I feel like this is social events. This is collaboration. So it's through mutual people. You're going to meet this person most likely through mutual people, or you're somehow going to cross paths in a synchronistic way that deals with other people. And it's sort of like you two are meant to cross paths at that time. Occasionally, Queen of Wands can also deal with social media since she tends to be a bit of a social butterfly. Occasionally. I'm feeling that that's not very strong in this reading though, so I feel like that's only maybe 10 or 20% of you. But then the rest of you, this seems more like a social event. Like going out for a fun night. or being out with your girlfriends, and then all of a sudden, like, you meet this person. Something like this. So that's sort of the main energy that I'm getting in terms of how you're going to meet each other. And let's go ahead and get some more cards on this reading all about your person, my group ones. Let's see all about your person. We also have surrender showing up. I feel like a lot of you, you're like, I didn't ever expect to be with this type of person, but I feel like when you meet them, it's almost like it's just going to make sense. It's like, oh, of course it's this person. You're going to see a side to them almost that they've never really shown to a lot of people, because I think that this person has so much depth, but they used to not open up about it. When you meet them, they're actually going to open up emotionally in a deeper way than I feel like they ever have with anybody. And I feel like they're going to tell you that. They're going to tell you, like, I've never opened up this deep to anybody before. And they're going to feel comfortable telling you their emotions. And that's one reason why you two are like the perfect puzzle piece for each other. It's like you're going to be that person that opens this person up and, you know, gets the guy or girl that was almost like unattainable before. That's the kind of story that Spirit is showing me. It's like almost this, your soulmate is that guy or girl that was like kind of unattainable. But you're going to be that person that when they meet you, they feel the depth, they feel safe with you, they feel comfortable with you, they open up in ways they never have before, which is going to create this beautiful bond. Okay, so that's what I'm getting there. Transmute as well. You're going to change this person. You're going to kind of change their trajectory, and it's not going to be something that you're doing intentionally, because I feel like when you intentionally try to change somebody, it's like, that's not, we don't like that, it's not good, it never really works. But you're going to almost unintentionally change this person, because you're not even going to realize that you've changed them, because they're always going to be who they are with you. So you're not even going to understand, like, oh, you were different before? You were like that? But like, what? It's because, like, you automatically, when they meet you, you just evoke something within them of who they actually are, an aspect of themselves that they've almost repressed or hidden because of, like, past fears, past, like, experiences that hurt them that maybe they haven't opened up about before. But right when they meet you, it's sort of like the dynamic is different, and you almost bring out their true authentic self type of thing. So that's what I'm getting from this, like, transmute energy. Then the surrender card is almost like, you know, they let down their walls when they're with you. And it's almost like they really open you up in that way too. And it's like, yeah, it's really beautiful. You two are also going to help each other become better. This Three of Pentacles energy is giving me the sense that you both are going to be communicative with each other. And there's this energy of, I want to be my best for you. So there's like a higher achievement that you're both reaching. Also this moon, I'm seeing this like emotional depth that you're both going to have together. And I feel like this person's friends are going to be shocked at who your soulmate is when they're around you. And your friends are going to be like, wow, you're obviously the one, because we've never seen our friend act like this before or be like this before. So you're going to, excuse me, open them up in those ways. Feels like I'm going to cough. But anyway, we also have Oracle. Let's get one last card here. Let's see, my group fours, any last cards here? That one, oop. We have Sage, and it has a little pentacle on it, or a coin. So Sage is giving me this feeling like this person will have, like, they're ready to, like, cleanse their old ways and their old self when they meet you. Also, because this is the Pentacle and it deals with advice, investing, accumulate, I feel like your person is quite successful in their career. And they're also here to invest in the long term with you, in a long-term relationship, and doing big things. I feel like this person's actually going to treat you. I feel like this person's quite successful in their career, and they're ready to show you a beautiful lifestyle and a beautiful life. We also have the Oracle, lead, ask, listen, and trust. Again, you're going to reach depths with this person that this person has not ever reached before. That's going to be a huge thing about your relationship. It's like reaching these depths that this person is like, whoa, I've never like opened up like this before. And that's how they're going to know that you're the one. It's like, ah. And then these two like coin pentacle things here, that's showing up in both of these. I feel like this person, again, has quite a successful career and they make good money. And I feel like they're going to build a beautiful life with you. And they're ready to live more luxurious. I feel like this is a bit more of a person who likes a little bit more of a luxurious type of lifestyle. And I feel like that's what I'm sensing that you two are going to be building together, is like kind of like more of a successful, kind of like more luxurious. I'm not seeing like a showiness. Like I want to make that clear. I'm not seeing like it's like showboaty, but it's luxurious. Like this person, I feel like drives a fancy car, and they want to live in a fancier type of house. So that's kind of what I'm getting here. But my group fours, that is what we have for you, my love. Thank you so much for joining me here, all about your soulmate and how you are likely going to meet them and all of that. I'm sending you all so much love. And until next time, bye.